Good morning, everyone. I am installing today a phone mount in my car so I, won't run into poles or people or anything while I'm out there. Spouse got this for me some time ago and pointed it out to me last night that why haven't I installed it? And I went, yeah, why not? So today that's what I'm doing. It's a lovely day out. And I'm just waiting. I've put the little ball in and I've got to wait 24 hours. So today, I had a bit of a tummy trouble last night. It turns out I really should have fasted. One of the big reasons I went carnivore in the first place at the beginning of winter was because I had SIBO, which stands for small intestine bacterial overgrowth. That was one of the reasons. The other reason was, ancestrally speaking, my people didn't get a lot of veg in the wintertime. I hail from Scotland, and before that, Scandinavia. We did our genetics test, spouse and I found that out, and I thought, let's do this, and I'll clear up my tummy problems. It'll be easy. There's not good veg in the winter really, unless you go whole hog organic and drive parts unknown. So last night it got worse and worse after my walk, and till about 7 o'clock, I was literally tied up in knots and crouched on the couch. We watched a movie. I managed to make it through that, and finally I had to talk to him. And we had a talk about keto and carnivorism. We did research on the internet, but we went to see Dr. Berg on the internet, and it turns out SIBO, which I had the problem before, so I'm kind of familiar with that. In the meantime, long story short, I was misdiagnosed with an ear infection last spring, and the temporary doctor I went to, because my doctor is in the process of trying to retire and trying to hire new blood, and she prescribed antibiotics to me twice before I finally managed to catch my original doctor, who I've been with since 1991, I believe, or something in the early 90s. Anyway, I don't remember these things. And he sent me to a hearing specialist. It was a blockage in this ear. And it turns out, as I kind of always knew, it runs in my family. I have very narrow eustachian tubes, and this ear got blocked up and was being very slow to drain. There was no infection. It was just that I couldn't hear, and I thought I was, getting old, which I am. But, it wasn't that, basically. And meanwhile, she had taken me through 2 courses of antibiotics, and it killed my gut bacteria. I ended up, having problems with eating vegetables towards the end of the summer, and that was why I went on carnivore in the first place. Having forgotten all that, because old age, I tried to go back this week onto keto, and it did not work out very well at all. And so about 9 o'clock last night, I made myself a cup of senna tea and drank it just before bed. And because, to quote one of my favorite authors, which I'll put her name in here, I was like a log jam on the St. Lawrence. Too much information, I know. Anyway, it's working its way through. I've decided to blank the gym this week because I am so sore in my abdominals. I'm very slow moving. So I'll be doing gentle exercise this week. I'll be taking walks. The weather's supposed to be very pleasant. So I'll be taking long walks, which will help. And I'm going to try to start today. Hopefully I won't get out there and get caught short. Again, TMI. But in the meantime, I thought I'd be productive and install this this car holder for my cell phone. So I will be less of a danger to humanity. And as you can see, I'm a bit shaky. But I've got it in. Cleaned my windows in the meantime because they really needed it. And I'll be waiting 24 hours to try it out. I'm the old lady that goes out on Sundays. So I don't do much driving during the week unless I need to. And that's it. I'll check in later and tell you how it's going. OMG. Thank God I don't have many subscribers. They'd be, anyway, later. Well, I made it to the park. Not my usual route. With the warm weather, it has become, as I predicted, pretty much of a swamp. The seagulls are loving it. I usually come in over there, but it was quite swampy, so I went up the street. And as you can see, the seagulls are loving it. I went up the street on the other side of that school, and I came around the back hoping to come down the edge, but it was also pretty swampy. So I went back out to the street and down, and I came in from the east entrance right there. So here I am in my favorite spot. Had a little chat with Spouse when he woke up, and he's on his way to the gym. And he agreed, since I've done 12 weeks at the gym, I started not at the beginning of December, but I think December 7th perhaps, somewhere near the beginning, but not at the beginning of December. He said it's probably time to take a rest week anyway. So he agreed with the gentle exercise of just slow, long walks, get some sun, get some air, and I'll be back at it in the gym next week. So I'm still a little sore, but the exercise should see that on its way in a day or two. And I'll be fasting today, perhaps tomorrow, but it's recommended a 48-hour fast. So I ate yesterday at about 2 o'clock, I want to say. And so I'll be going to tomorrow. I'm definitely fasting today. I'm not even interested in food, to tell you the truth, so that'll be easy. Just coffee this morning. Gotta have my caffeine fix. I am addicted. And water and black tea the rest of the day. Probably not even black tea. I may have a black tea, but I'll probably just stick with the ginger tea. The ginger was making me feel a little better yesterday, so I'll probably do ginger tea. So I just wanted to take a shout out to some of my favorite people that I follow. And I gotta preface this with saying I found these reaction channels because at the beginning of my weight loss journey, I needed some inspiration. And I ended up finding Amberlynn Reed and Chantel, and I think the other one was Lyfe by Jen. But the inspiration came in the form of watching these ladies eat. Took away my appetite. And just watching them stuff food in their mouth. It entirely took away my appetite. And then through them, I found reaction channels. I found people like Callie of Life of a Free Spirit, Irate Alex, Alex is Shook, Aphrodite's Peach, Charlie Gold. I've recently found DCMedia Girl, who I love. She's a girl after my own heart. I think she's a journalist, or at least she's a reporter down in Washington, D.C. This is from what I get from her channel. I may be wrong, but I always wanted to be a journalist and a writer. I still consider myself something of a writer because I puddle around, but they say don't be an aspiring writer, be a writer. So I write. So I am a writer. At least that's my justification. Apologies to any writer out there who is actually a writer. I've recently found Ilona of Chikara Transformations. And Omegon is another favorite. I'll link all these below in my description. Zachary Michael. Oh God, he makes me laugh. I love Zachary Michael. Michael BePetty is another one. Michelle McDaniels, whose channel is called My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You. And I love her take. I love her honesty. I love her direct approach. Speaking of direct approaches, I also love Alan Roberts of Every Damn Day Fitness, who tells it like it is as well. Good morning. And that's all I can think of for now, but I will link those down below. And if you wish to check them out, please do so, because they're fabulous channels to watch. And through these reaction channels, I filter what DCMedia Girl calls lol cows. And I had the pleasure of explaining the term lol cow to my son yesterday. And I gradually stopped watching them because I haven't entirely stopped, because I use the filter of reaction channels, as I say, because these girls, these lol cows, are psychologically fascinating to me. I don't understand how their minds work, but it fascinates me how they can fail over and over and over again and deflect those reasons for failure and just lie to themselves. It's amazing. So I watch them through the filter of the reaction channels. That's all I wanted to say, and I wanted to list a few of these reaction channels for you, and maybe you can enjoy them too. So I'm out here today, enjoying the weather. It's a little bit blustery and brisk, but I got my sleeves rolled up so I can get my vitamin D. And I'm going to continue on my slow, careful journey around the neighborhood. My aim is to get at least 5,000 steps in, and I'm already over halfway there at this point. So I have no fear that I'm going to get my 5,000. But they're going to be slow and careful. And it must be spring. The Harleys are out. Well, home again. I've got spouse's lunches made. Lunches, plural, because, lunch and dinner. I've got the goat feet on the fire for his lunch tomorrow. I don't know if I will partake. I'll have to see how I feel tomorrow. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm fasting today. And quite frankly, I don't feel like eating much. And I did over 6,000 steps according to my Fitbit. And now I'm going to relax for the evening. There was some signs of spring, and I did hear a robin, but I did not see a robin. So until I see a robin, it's not officially spring. Well, it's not officially spring according to the calendar, but it was lovely today. I believe Siri informed me that it was going up to 15, but we're going to get rain, which is good. We need rain. And I think that's about it for today. I'm going to download these, pardon me, download these little videos and make up my vlog for today. See you tomorrow.